Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds. Sorry it's a little late, but work comes first. That's what pays the bills. So I ended up having to work late because we got some nasty weather here in Missouri last night and through this morning. So the show's a little later tonight. Say hi to the chat. Hey, Richie, welcome in. Good to see you. We got a good show tonight. Before we get into it, we just want to say thank you to everybody who bought tickets for Mortuary Manor for May 9th, Mother's Day. There is still a few tickets left. You got 14 hours to purchase some more. The payment plan ones are all sold out already. So make sure you get your tickets on that. So you can come and investigate with my dad and I, and there's general admission tickets, and then the VIP tickets are with us. So that being said, you've only got 14 hours left, so get your last minute tickets in, and we will see you May 9th in Mortuary Manor in Ohio. Our next event we're going to be at is Crypticon KC, the big horror movie convention. This is the first time they're ever doing the paranormal there, and we are one of the guest speakers that are going to be there. So come on through, check it out. We'll have equipment there, merch for sale, all kinds of stuff. We are also confirmed for Bordertown Paracon and August 6th. My dad and I are guest speakers at that one, and I'm also on the ghost panel. So come check that out. And then we're at West Kentucky Paranormal Expo in September. That will be a good one, so come on out there. And we are guest speaking, so out there as well, and selling stuff and merch, so come check us out there as well. And then October, we are back at Rock Island Paracon again, so you can come on out there too and see us. Without further ado, we're going to get in the show. We got a good guest tonight. My guest has been on the show before. Hi, Neo. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate that. My guest has been on the show before. Many of you know him as of the author for the book he wrote in Missouri State Penitentiary, These Walls Still Talk. Well, he had written another one shortly after that, and he's here to talk to us about it. He spent the night in Kentucky's most haunted house, the Ditto House, which is owned by my good friends Denise and Ernie Pack of Pac-Man Paranormal. And he's here tonight to tell us a little bit about it and talk about it. Hey, Sandy, welcome in. So without further ado, my guest at this time, Brian Paone.
Hello.
Hey, Brian, welcome back to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Pretty good.
It's always weird. Like it's funny. Like when after the intro's done and then like the guest gets brought on, I never know. Like, am I supposed to wave? Like, what do you do? It's like bizarre, right?
Right.
So it was like this weird transition. Right. So yeah. No, and just one quick correction. The Ditto House. I actually, you said I spent the night there. I was there almost for 3 weeks.
Oh wow.
So, yeah. So that's. Yeah, I couldn't write a whole book in one night. That would be crazy. But no, I got to. I went in 2 different segments. I went for 4 days, and then I went back for 2 weeks. So it was like 2.5 weeks. I was there total writing. But yeah, but Missouri State Penitentiary, I was there for 8 weekends. So still more time at Missouri than I was at the Ditto House. But you know.
So which was scarier for you, Missouri State, writing in Missouri State, or writing in the Ditto House?
Ditto House. Yep, absolutely. And not because Missouri State Penitentiary isn't scary and doesn't have its moments, because it is. I mean, the dungeon in 3D. I mean, these are places I refuse to go by myself, right? But Missouri State Penitentiary, and you've been there multiple times. In fact, they're with you. Missouri State Penitentiary is so large, right? It's so huge that when I was writing, if it was, 2 a.m, midnight, it was pitch black, I knew I was the only person in the building. If I heard
Mm-hmm.
something, saw something, the property is so big that you have this feeling of it that you can escape. Like you
Right.
have this feeling of I can run out of a hall and nothing's going to get me because I can leave. Right? It's so big. Right? The Ditto House is very claustrophobic. It's very, very tiny. You can't see around the corner to the next room until you actually go into
Mm-hmm.
the room. Right? So I would say that more paranormal stuff happened to me while I was at MSP, but the Ditto House left me with more anxiety throughout the day, because you literally could get up from the dining room table and go into the kitchen for a snack and run into something, and you wouldn't
Right.
even in the middle of the day, like Missouri MSPs, even though stuff happens during the day, they tend to come out at night there. Like that's when they kind
Yep.
of activate. The Ditto House don't care. They don't care if it's midnight or noon. I mean, I had things happen to me at noon and I had things happen to me at midnight. And there's always this feeling of every single time I went upstairs to use the bathroom of the 3 weeks I was there, I always was prepared to run into something. So there's this level of like constant, it like doesn't let up. That doesn't mean that I did every time. It just means that there's more of a possibility, where like at MSP, if I ran into something, I could turn and run out of the building and I'd be outside and I'd be good. The Ditto House, if you run into something, you could turn and run into something else.
Right.
When you turn the corner, right? And that was what makes the Ditto House scarier from more of an anxiety standpoint, not necessarily activity. There was some nights where, I'm not going to lie, I, went under the covers. I slept in the murder room the whole time I was there. And there was some nights when I was hearing things like pacing outside the door, and I knew that Ernie and Denise were asleep. And I'm not going to lie, I threw the covers over my head and just tried to fall asleep as fast as possible. Because in that house, you just never know. You just never know.
Right. I see Ernie and Denise posts all the time about that place and stuff outside their bedroom in the hallway.
Yes. And stuff happened to me while I was there with them, right outside the nursery, which is adjacent to their bedroom. And I mean, there's some nights when it's just constant like voices in the house and people walking, and then there's like rocks falling down the staircase. And then I saw my first, honest to God, full body apparition at the Ditto House in the ladies' room. I mean, I screamed, she screamed. It was like the scene in E.T. where E.T. meets Elliot for the first time. I swear to God that happened. And in all the shadow figures I saw at MSP, it was always like shadow figures. It was always like the movement of that kind of silhouette. This was a legit woman standing on the other side of the bed. We looked at each other. I took off running. Ernie had to chase me and like console me. Like it's stuff like the Ditto House has stuff like that. Like it is in your face.
Right. I still talk about our experience at Missouri State.
Yeah. I just gonna add one more thing and then we can shift gears. Is at MSP, one of the rules was that I was never allowed to be on the property without at least one Missouri one employee. Like that was one of Sheila's rules. Like you will not be on the property unless there is an employee also somewhere there. I mean, they could be in the ticket office and I could be out in 3, but someone had to be on the property with me. The Ditto House, Ernie and Denise went to work every day and left me completely alone. So when I heard people walking or doors closing, I knew it wasn't the employee, like as MSP, it could have been somebody, the employee on the property doing something, right? There's always that chance. But the Ditto House, I would wake up some mornings and Ernie and Denise had already left for work and I was completely alone until they got home at dinner time. So I spent the day writing alone in this house, sometimes too scared to go get another cup of coffee because I heard something in the kitchen a few minutes ago,
Right.
So that's what the Ditto House does. It constantly kind of messes with you like that way.
And I know they rent that out to let investigators actually go and investigate that place.
Yes. Yep. Right. In my book release party for the Ditto House novel, which is next month, May 14th, we sold out of the investigation part of it almost immediately. And what we have left are tickets for the meet and greet and the paranormal tour. So Ernie and Denise are going to we're selling tickets to do like hour long, 90-minute long, like paranormal tour of the Ditto House, plus a meet and greet with all of us. But the actual investigation where we break out the equipment and stay the night, like into the night, that sold out like almost immediately when those tickets went on sale. So,
oh, wow.
And we have tickets. So the book release party the next day also includes Fort Duffield meeting up with Squatch Man to do like squatching and then do paranormal story time by the campfire. Those tickets are still available. So even though the like investigation part of my book release party sold out, we still have the paranormal tour and the Fort Duffield squatching event tickets available for that.
We had a question for you. Granzer asked, Brian, paranormal genres, do you explore or research or both?
Well, so I've been a published author for 18 years, right? And this book is my 14th novel overall. I actually don't have a lot of horror novels in that row. It just seems that these two books were written back to back because of the experience of writing in haunted locations. Really, the only other real horror novel that I have, or paranormal novel I have, is a novel called Welcome to Parkview, and that's more of a Twilight Zone-y, like a Stephen King meets Twilight Zone. And there was no research to do for that. It all came out of my brain. It was birthed for my love of the old Twilight Zone episodes. I was like, what if I make a novel that feels like a Twilight Zone episode? So my other genres that I write in is all. I have a cyberpunk dystopian novel. I have an urban crime thriller. I have a neo-noir, detective serial killer novel. I have a time travel novel. So I'm kind of all over the place. But with these two books, I did an incredible amount of research for both locations before I started writing. I know more about the Missouri State Penitentiary riot of 1954 than I think, the only people that probably know more about that riot than me are the tour guides themselves, because I knew it was going to be a major part of the book. And I deep dove researching specifically the night of that riot. And this was before I went and stayed. Ditto House, I did a ton of research on the building of the house, who owned it, how many times it changed hands, what was it, because it was a post office, it was a train station ticket booth, it was a military hospital for the Civil War. I did a whole bunch of that research before I came to the house to start writing. So the answer to your question is actually twofold. Like, I do a ton of research and then I immerse myself in the location, while I'm there writing. What got me into the paranormal
another
genre?
one for you says,
yeah, so if you don't know me, people who do know me know this, but I am born and raised in Salem, Massachusetts. So I was born in Salem Hospital proper, and I left Salem when I was 30. So the first 30 years of my life, from birth to 30, not only did I live in Salem, but I grew up in a funeral home, so I think, we lived in a detached apartment, part of the funeral home property. So I think kind of growing up in the Salem area, and then living X amount of years in the funeral home during my formative time, when I was at the age where you start discovering things that you like. I would say that you can't grow up in the Salem area and not be touched by some sort of paranormal, supernatural. Like, even if you don't believe and you're a skeptic, I mean, you leave your house and it's there, it's in front of you, it's everywhere. I mean, that's the fabric of that area, So I think that plays into it, just kind of being from there and having horror being my favorite genre, both to read and to watch. And the haunted house trope is probably my second favorite horror subgenre after Possession. I love Possession. Like The Exorcist is my favorite movie of all time, then followed by Insidious. So we have the haunted house,
Right.
right? And we have the possession. So when I went in to write these books, I kind of stayed away from the possession a little bit, not to spoil, spoiler alert, but in These Walls Still Talk, the MSP book, there is a moment where the spirits can manipulate humans, but that's not true possession. It was a manipulation of their actions.
Yeah.
So possession and haunted houses have been have intrigued me since I was little. This is something I find it wildly fascinating.
Right. And we had an awesome experience there down in the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you and me. Yeah, we were down there. Yeah. Dungeon terrifies me.
I mean, I still talk about that because that's the first time I've ever experienced that there at Missouri State, down in the dungeon, that big bright light like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you remember my daughter, Annalise, she had the big, what we think was, the big boy came down the hallway at her, and she started crying. She had such a visceral reaction to it. She burst into tears. She couldn't control it because she saw that figure that everyone talks about, coming down, from the in your face room in the dungeon, So, I mean, yes. So Laurie Cabot is such a well-known figure. I was the store manager of a store called Suncoast. We sold movies. It doesn't exist anymore, but back in the 90s, Suncoast was a really big deal. Sam Goody was our music side, but we were the movie side in the mall. And Laurie Cabot used to come into the mall a lot. So I would see Laurie a lot. And she was just a normal person, And now she has this sort of celebrity status. But back in the mid 90s, she was, you knew who she was, but she was just a very common occurrence, Her son owns a store in downtown Salem, and I just went to it in April last April when I was back home, because I live in DC now, but I go home 3 to 4 times a year to see my parents and my siblings and my family, because everyone is still there. I'm like the only one who left. Everyone still lives there, but I did go to her store, her son's store last year, so that was kind of cool to go in there.
Oh yeah, I've been past Salem, never been in Salem, but it's definitely on my list of places to go to.
Well, if you need a built-in tour guide, I'll meet you up there. It's a 7-hour drive for me. I go up all the time.
I'll take you up on that, definitely.
Yeah,
Andrew says, "Oh well, yeah, I remember Suncoast, Sam Goody. We used to have Suncoast here. I believe we had one in New York also back in the 90s.
Yeah, they were everywhere. I mean, they were in a lot of malls, but I was the store manager of the one there.
Because I remember going there and getting movies and stuff with my friends from high school.
It was good times back when we had.
How's your daughter doing, anyways? Is she still?
She got
doing
into
the film stuff.
Yep, she got into ASU. So she leaves this summer. She graduates high school in June, but she got into ASU for film and stuff. So she's heading up there to maybe turn one of my books into a movie.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I can still remember that down in the dungeon when I told her that shadow figure was standing right in between her and I, and she felt it grab her leg, and
she just freaked out. Yeah. And then we had somebody else in our group. Actually, the woman who does my front covers was there with her friend, and he had his hoodie pulled from behind in that area that night. Rob was talking and kind of giving his briefing about how EVPs work, and Jason just panicked and went like this, and nobody was behind him, and something had pulled his coat back. So, which is so common down there. I mean, I had things happen.
Yeah,
to me
that's
in the
common
dungeon.
in there.
Yeah. So the cool thing about both Missouri State Penitentiary in the Ditto House while I was there writing was I kept a diary of everything that happened to me while I was writing. And in both books, my diary is included at the end of the book. So I've had people who have bought, like These Walls Still Talk, and read my diary first and then read the book, because they want to know like things that happened to me while I was there. Because my diary is literally, there's no spoilers in my diary. You're not going to, none of the story is going to be spoiled by reading it. I stay away from talking about the book proper.
Right.
It's literally the thing, like stuff like happened to you and me. It's stuff like that. It's like what happened to me in real life while I was writing this book. And when I went to the Ditto House, I wanted to do the same thing and wanted to keep a diary. But there were times at the Ditto House when so many things happened in a day. I know I forgot stuff. Like I know some of the stuff isn't in the diary that happened because there were some days where it was so active, but both books have a diary at the end of everything that happened to me, which is kind of fun to review.
Granzer said Russell and Brian.
Yeah, Rex Manning Day. Yeah. Empire Records, one of my favorite movies.
Yep. And I know they said while we were there because of them tearing down all the buildings and stuff back there.
Yeah, they tore down 2. Housing Unit 2. It
kicked up a lot of activity because you figure all that energy traveled over to 3 over there. So
yep. Yeah. Yeah. And 3 was closed for a while because of the sinkhole. 3 closed, and when 3 closed and people weren't going in anymore, you almost wonder if the energy in 3 was confused at why nobody was. There wasn't, so it's cool questions to think about, So
yeah. Did you have any of the like cobweb feelings when you were writing there in Missouri State? Like you felt like a spider web come across your skin or anything?
No, I didn't have that. I did, I think 2 or 3 different times, and I have it in the diary at the back of the book. I felt like something grabbed my elbow, and it was definitely like fingers in a palm. Like it wasn't just like spider web. It was like something grabbing my elbow, and I like would snatch, and then I was alone, And it always seemed to happen in 4 in A Hall. So something in A Hall liked to get my attention by grabbing my elbow,
Right. You're not the only one that's had that happen to. We had a group with us the first time we went there, and my dad had told this girl she was going to get touched at night, and we were in 4. She kept seeing the shadow darting in and out of the catwalk up on the 2nd.
The peekers?
Up there. Yep. So I went up there to check it out. So I started walking, and then I walked that cross catwalk, pacing like I was a guard. Mm-hmm. I got above them, and I hear her go, "God damn it, something grabbed my leg."
Yep. Very common. We had a police officer one night who was on duty because they always have a uniformed officer on, right? Her name is Jensen, and I was sitting in cell 6 with her, and something messed with her right leg while she was sitting on one of the benches talking to me while I was writing. And that's in my diary too. That was a weird night. There's some nights at MSP where you leave and you go, man, that was weird. The whole night was weird.
Yeah.
Everything, the whole night. And the funny thing about MSP is there'll be some nights where it is quiet. Where MSP is just like they're sleeping. And because MSP charges to have overnight investigations, there's some nights when they're just not talking. Yeah. And I was there, there was a couple times when guests left complaining, well, this place is bullcrap. This is what a waste of my money. I would never come back. And then the very next night, it's like the place like just exploded with activity, right? And people are like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I'm coming back. So it is a roll of the dice when you go. Like, what type of night are you going to get, So, yeah.
And I hear the same thing about Waverly also.
Yeah, well, I'm doing that for the first time in my life next month. So hopefully it'll be a good night. Yeah. But
hopefully you get a thunderstorm.
Yeah, I hope not, because might rain out my book release party at Fort Duffield. I don't want it in the rain.
Well, if you get a thunderstorm during Waverly, then it'll kick up some activity for you.
Yeah, I just want the night that we're out at Fort Duffield to be clear. But if anybody who's watching this or listening is interested to come out to the book release party at the Ditto House in Fort Duffield, you can go on my website, which is brianpaone.com. So just look at my name. How do I do this? Right here. And then just put a .com at the end. And there's a banner across my website that for tickets. So you can click that and it'll bring you right to tickets. So I made it super easy. So like no thinking involved. There's no some big long link I'm going to give you or tell you to do like 4 different things. Literally go to myname.com and you can get tickets to the Ditto House Ghost Tour and meet and greet and the Squatchin' at Fort Duffield.
Granzer said Brian, the writer who wrote Empire Records, worked at a Tower Records in Phoenix, Arizona in the early 80s
Yeah,
at
I didn't know
the
that.
old Christown Mall.
Okay. I did not know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Did you know that there's I'm looking at the other comment about Clueless. I don't know if you know, but Clueless 2 right now is in production.
I read something about that. I didn't know how true it
Yeah.
was because
It is. So she's playing, she has a child now, like she has a teenage daughter. So it's like, so, you know, so she's the mom in part 2 and the daughter's kind of going through what she, you know, so.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've been working on several movies. I wrote 3 of them already.
Man, I might be able to, you know, I'm a novelist. I can't, something about writing movies, it just seems daunting to me. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah, I've wrote 2 paranormal movies and 1 based on an actual urban legend.
Oh, that's cool.
Which
See, what I need is somebody to turn my books into movies. I don't want to do it myself. You know, I want someone to be like, we're making this. And I go, yes.
Well, you got your daughter now that she's in for film. She probably will be able to do it.
I know. I'd love it. I know. That'd be great. Even if she does something for like, you know, a student film or something like that, you know, like one of my short stories or something. It'd be cool.
Right. I mean, that one I just turned into a movie is called Hell in the Woods. I wrote a short story on it for Halloween one year.
Mm-hmm.
And I got reading it and I was like, this would make a good movie. So I wrote the movie.
So what urban legend you said you
It's based on the 7 Gates of Hell out of York, Pennsylvania.
Yep. Okay, cool. That's neat.
And
yeah.
I've
never been there, but yeah, I've heard of it. I know I've just never been there.
We were going to go there and investigate it, and we were talking about it, planning it, and then all of a sudden strange things just started happening to us. Started having nightmares and all kinds of stuff. Members were having asthma attacks, and
oh man,
I was like, that's our sign not to go.
Jeez. Yeah, they
so we never went.
It's funny because like I joked about the Ditto House or West Point, because the Ditto House is in West Point, Kentucky, right? Fort Duffield and the Ditto House are in West Point.
Mm-hmm.
I joked with the Pats that I felt like West Point is the Bermuda Triangle of paranormal, because they have alien sightings there. They have a high rate of Sasquatch sightings there. Almost every building is haunted. Like almost every building is haunted. Like it is such it's weird, man. West Point, Kentucky is just like, it's got its own vibration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know they do that. Get Haunted does that trifecta out there.
Yeah, I did that last year. Yeah.
I hear so much about it from Bill and LLM. They told me I need to get out there and check it out.
Because I did it, my diary at the back of the Ditto House book starts with me attending that and what happened to us that night. So it's kind of cool because it's split up. The night split up into like 3 sessions. You know, you do ghosts first. Yeah, ghosts first, squatches second, and then the aliens third. So it's kind of cool how Rob has it set up. You know, so it's neat. But
then you got Squatch Man. He's awesome at what he does.
It was so much fun to write him because he's in the book. He's one of the main characters in the Ditto House book. And the name of the book is Unpacking the Ditto House, which is a play on words because of the Packs. The Packs own it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Unpacking the Ditto House, which I had kind of fun coming up with that. In the book, it is fiction, right? But it involves real people, just like These Walls Still Talk. Like the storyline is fiction, but it involves real people in a real place. And in the book, it's about Ernie and Denise buying the house and moving in. So they're unpacking the Ditto House. And one of the, Silas Rodman, he's the traveling salesman that was killed in the Ditto House in real life. They thought he was cheating during a card game, and they murdered him in the murder room. And that's where they let me sleep the whole 2.5 weeks I was there. So I used Silas Rodman's real story in real life and his real ties to the Ditto House. But in my book, when Ernie and Denise are moving in, Silas decides he doesn't like Ernie and starts to, make their life hell. And Squatch Man comes in, and the Bigfoot in the forest all have a huge part in the book. I don't want to spoil it because if I talk about that part, then I do give away the ending. But I did incorporate, the Squatches and Squatch Man and Silas Rodman's real story and all that. So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to ruin it. People need to buy the book and read it.
Yep. Yeah. And then when I finished writing that, I decided to write my first young reader chapter book. And it involves all the pets of everybody in Get Haunted. And their pets want to be like their humans. So they go to a haunted house to investigate a haunted house that's only haunted by animal ghosts. So that comes out the same day as the Ditto House book. They actually are coming out on the same day. And that's called The Scary Place. So if anybody knows the Get Haunted crew, you know that like Rob's dog's name is Leo. Leo is the main character. And then Red, who is the Pax dog at the Ditto House. Red is like the second main character. My dog, Watson. And then Sarah from Get Haunted, her dog, Zoe, who passed away, is one of the ghosts that they're hunting in the, so there's no humans in this book at all. It is made up 100% of the animals of Get Haunted hunting spirits of animals who have passed, who are trapped in this haunted house. So anyway, so it's fun. The few people who have read it so far have just said that it was so much fun to read. It's really short. I wrote it for kind of that 10 to 12-year-old age group. The kids who want to read scary stories, but they're not ready for adult novels yet. So it's very Leanne and Todd who do the Bell Witch Cave tours. They got a brand new puppy named Finley, and he's in the book like as a puppy. Kaylee from Get Haunted. Yeah. Her dog Louie is in it. Bill from Get Haunted, his dog Odin just recently passed away. So Odin is one of the ghosts in the house that they're tracking. So it was kind of cool to take real animals who are alive and real animals who have passed and kind of create this Get Haunted kind of like side story of everybody's pets. Right. So that's called The Scary Place, and that comes out next month too. And The Scary Place and the Ditto House novel, you can pre-order both of those right now on Amazon, or if you want a signed copy, you go to this.com and you can pre-order. If you pre-order them on my website, I automatically sign them. So.
Does Leo have his personality in the book like he does in real life?
I did. So that was a lot of fun asking each owner, and I remember Rob being like, well, Leo's just an asshole. He's like, so I kind of in the book, Leo is kind of has this like too cool for school. Doesn't really he comes up with all the ideas, but then he always kind of goes off script, you know, and he's always like kind of going off on his own while everyone's over here. He's over here trying to figure something else out. Yeah. So in Red, I spent 2.5 weeks with Red, you know, at the Ditto House. So I kind of got to know his personality a lot, and I used how he is in real life. He's just kind of that wise old soul, you know, so he's kind of the voice of reason through the book. And my dog Watson is an absolute spaz. So he's through the whole book, my dog, he's more like, he's the one that's always like squirrel, you know, he's just always just not because he's trying to not pay attention. He's just like constantly distracted by shiny things. But so it was a fun book. And and Denise Pack, you know, owner of the Ditto House, she did the front cover. She designed the front cover of The Scary Place of the pet book. So
nice.
She painted it. I actually painted on canvas and then UPS'd it to me. So
Granzer had a question. What is the best documented ghost encounter? A, Brown Lady of
Raymond Hall, yeah.
Enfield Poltergeist, White House Ghosts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ooh, yeah, that would be a tough one right there.
I know the most about the Brown Lady between the, you know, I don't. So I you know, that's, I have to. I mean, if that's an actual question for me, then I have to go with the one that I've heard about the most. I don't know much about the Enfield Poltergeist. I guess I'll have to look that up.
That's the one that the Conjuring 2 is.
Oh, okay, then yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Conjuring 2 is my least favorite of the 4. Maybe that's why I didn't recognize it, because I don't really like that movie too much.
If you watch, go on YouTube and look up the Enfield Poltergeist, Ed Warren, you'll see Ed Warren actually communicating with something, and a table's actually sliding across the floor as he's asking questions to it.
Okay, yeah. Conjuring 2, I've only seen it twice in my life, and the second time I watched it, I was like giving it another try, and I just, when it ended, I was like, yeah, this is definitely my least favorite of the series. Yeah,
which Ed and Lorraine only assisted on that. That was more Morris Gross his case on that. Ed and Lorraine were only called to assist because of the church, but
right.
And then the White House ghosts, you hear that all the time, that these presidents are always reporting that there's ghosts of former presidents walking around there.
Right.
They've seen Abraham Lincoln walking through there, George Washington, and Granzer said yes, Brian. It's a question for both you and Russell.
Well, that was my answer. The answer was the Brown Lady. That's when I feel like I immediately, you know, well, because we all hear about the White House ghosts, but to be honest with you, like, I don't know if there's like a roster sheet. You know,
right. But yeah, you don't hear much on the Brown Lady. You'll hear more of the White House ghost and the Enfield Poltergeist, but you don't hear much on the Brown Lady. Or you hear more on the Lady in White. She seems to appear everywhere in the United States.
Yeah. Hey, and the MSP has the Lady in Gray, the Gray Lady, they call her.
Yeah.
And she moseys around, you know, Housing Unit 1.
Yeah, she does. I've heard Jenny talk about her several times.
Yeah, she has a big part in the book. In my book, These Walls Still Talk, the Gray Lady. There's a whole section of the book that takes place in 1, and the Gray Lady kind of, you know, pops up, makes her appearance.
Right. Yeah, I've never got to experience her yet, the Gray Lady, but I've experienced the lady down in the dungeon before.
Yeah, I haven't experienced the Gray Lady personally either. Me and Jenny were closing up one night. After I had been there for like 3 weeks into my 8-week stay there, the staff kind of got more comfortable with me accompanying them on the close up of going building to building to make sure there was no guests hiding or in closing the windows, and then they closing the lights off, and then they started actually like letting me do it like on my own. And there was a night that me and Jenny went into one, and we both simultaneously walked through this unbelievably strong odor of women's perfume. I mean, it was so strong that it stopped us in our tracks. I mean, it was like it was just so palpable, you know, and there was nobody in one. The one was empty. And then it was gone. And then we couldn't recreate it. Like we kept trying to go through that pocket of air again, and we couldn't. So I don't know if that was the gray lady, like leaving some of her essence behind, but I've never seen her. A lot of people have. She's in the book only because she is such a common sight there. But I'm also the type of person that I will never kind of become that like hive mind mentality where one person sees something and the whole group thinks they see the same thing. Like I'll tell you straight up, like I would love to see her, and I never did. I never ran into her. But the perfume was the closest thing I got to saying, oh shoot, maybe that was her, you know? So
right. And
but I did
we experienced the lady down in the dungeons down there.
Mm-hmm. There's some weird things in the dungeon.
She was yelling hello.
Oh God, that scares me. That scares me. I did an overnight at oh my God, in Iowa, the manor in Iowa. Oh, it's eluding me. It's because I'm on the spot. It starts with an M. Mackley Manor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. I'm trying to think.
Anyway, I did oh wow, this is unbelievable. I did an overnight there, but you sleep there. Like you go to bed and you sleep. And at about 4:30 in the morning, there was a woman screaming in the hallway, and that's the top 3 scariest things that I've ever experienced in my life. I mean, even today when I think about that, it was absolutely terrifying, like in my core, because there was nobody there, and she was like blood curdling, like she was being murdered.
Right.
I will never forget that sound. It rings in my ears. Yeah. To the point where I sometimes don't like thinking about it because I want to live in a sense of denial that I didn't hear it because it was that scary, you know. So
wait till you experience Waverly.
Maybe, but I'll be with a large group of people, so that you know I can grab onto somebody. You know, I can grab onto Rob and be like, "Save me!"
Yeah, you better hang on to Rob, especially if you go down to the body shoot.
I've heard many. So you know, staying with Ernie and Denise for 3 weeks at the Ditto House to write the book, I got many stories from them. I've heard so many Waverly Hills stories at this point that even though I've never been there, I feel like I have because I've gotten such an overview. So I'm well versed on the shoot. I'm terrified of certain places in there because of the stories that's been told to me by them. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's gonna be good.
If you get the courage, lay on the surgery table on the 4th floor.
Oh God.
And
I'll be too sober for that.
Have Rob wheel you under the light.
No, that's nope. Nope. I did the Estes method in the gas chamber at MSP, left alone, and that was anxiety, you know, driven for me. So
we got an awesome EVP out of that gas chamber
at MSP.
Oh yeah, there was 2 of us. We sat in the chair and closed the door, and we were doing a spirit box session in there. And it come across the spirit box, told us to die.
Oof. That place is just I love MSP so much. I feel like a kinship with it, which is weird. It's like a home away from home for me.
Right. It's one of our favorite places too. We love it there.
Yep. But yeah, you and I were talking about this backstage. But for anybody watching or listening, I will be back there for their These Walls Still Talk event. I'm the featured guest or the special guest or the whatever you want, guest of honor. I don't know, whatever term you want to use. So that's in September. So if anybody has never done Missouri State Penitentiary and wants to and would like to do it with me while I'm there, I will be there in September on their These Walls Still Talk event. So that will be fun. I'll be flying out.
They'll have fun. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great guy to investigate with. I got to investigate with him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
At the Get Haunted event. So
Yep. That's where I met Get Haunted, was at MSB. All of this.
Yeah, you were at the Devil on the Run tour too out there, weren't you?
Yeah, that was my first time ever meeting anybody. Yep. It was kind of by happenstance, and never in a million years did I think that, you know, my writing career would change going to that event. You know, because this was before there was any ideas of novels or knowing anybody and stuff like that. So, but
and plus you got to experience the Warren's Occult Museum out there in the Shadow Doll, and
I have a picture taken with the Shadow Doll, and Wade took the picture, and then after he took the picture, he handed me my phone back and he said, "Oh, she's really angry. You've made her really angry." I was like, "Oh God," because I put my cheek up against her glass, so we were both facing forward, and I'm like this. She's like, "Oh, she doesn't like that." She's like,
that. She does not like that. Yeah, she doesn't like that. Yeah. That fire doll, that's another one that's creepy.
Yeah, the fire doll was there too that night. Yeah, the dinosaur that goes across the floor in The Conjuring, that was there. Yeah. So I got to see that. There was a couple things there.
Well, did you read that the movie doll Annabelle, that chair she was sitting in is the actual chair that Annabelle sat in?
No.
Yeah, that was the actual chair that Annabelle sat in before they put her in a case.
I did not know that.
And I've got a picture. I took a selfie that day there. I took Annabelle in the chair by herself. And you look in the picture and you see this. When I take the selfie with my back turned, you see this, a hand open up like that.
That's weird.
Like it's trying to grab me. I showed that to Wade.
Mm.
Wade was like, yeah, those things know who you are.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh. Grinzer says, Brian, is there a paranormal topic that you would want to write about, but just don't seem to have enough evidence or experience?
Yeah, this idea of doppelgangers really super intrigues me, but I don't know enough about it, and I haven't seen it enough for me to be able to like incorporate it into a book and feel that I'm doing it justice. But you know, this reoccurring thing where people will see the same person over there, but they're really over there, or you know, they'll see, hey, I just saw you go in that room 30 seconds ago. How are you now in the backyard? No, I wasn't going in that room. That is weird to me, but I don't have enough like knowledge and experience with it, like that phenomenon. So that phenomenon is interesting. I also, I think that would probably be the first thing that comes to mind, where I know it's semi-common. Everybody kind of knows about it, but I just don't know enough about it for me to feel comfortable writing about it.
Yeah, those are interesting, them doppelgangers. I just had two friends reach out to me and swore they saw me. One saw me at a Comic-Con. She was there with her grandkids. Swore she saw me walking down the aisle, and she went to come over to say hi, and it wasn't me.
That's weird.
It looked like me. And then another one, a friend of mine in Maine reported that she saw somebody that looked like me too.
Do I have a doppelganger? So I've had people tell me at different stages in my life, back before I started shaving my head, that at times I can look like Ben Stiller. I'm also very short, and he's very short. I know you can't tell height here on podcast, but I'm 5'4". I don't think he's too much taller than me, but there are moments when, like, I've had multiple people tell me I look like Ben Stiller, not just like once, or I thought it myself. It's been something through my life that people have told me that I look like Ben Stiller. So
Clones of Russell when he was abducted by aliens.
oh,
Okay. I'd be more attacked by a ghost than abducted by aliens.
yeah, they'd give me back. But this guy talks a lot.
Russell is 6'7". He is a tall guy.
Well, I am doing a reading tomorrow at a college for These Walls Still Talk, and it's going to be a super early morning. And I know we started off kind of late tonight because of the Missouri weather and all that. So
yeah,
I do appreciate you having me on and adjusting the time and letting this go through.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
But yeah, if anybody, These Walls Still Talk is available. Paperback, ebook, and audiobook everywhere books are sold. The Unpacking the Ditto House and the Scary Place books coming out in May. You can pre-order through my website or pre-order through Amazon. And once those come out, they'll also be paperback, audiobook, and ebook in every bookstore. So hopefully people enjoy reading books, knowing that I wrote every word in the location that the book takes place in, and then has fun reading my diary. And you can read about all the times I was scared out of my wits. So, but yeah, I appreciate all your questions too. So
I've got several locations you'd love to write in.
Yeah. I've had many people text me, email me, give me suggestions, so, I have a couple that I'm looking at, I just don't know how more I want to do this. This is a lot of fun, but I also want to make sure that I don't recycle the same storyline, and I need each book to have its own identity. The moment I feel that I am just going to be, doing the same thing over and over and over is when I need to call it.
Right.
So, all right, we'll do that.
If you're interested, I'll talk to the owner of the movie theater. You'll love to write on that place.
Ooh, that I could come up with some cool plot lines of that for sure. Yeah.
And then you'll get to investigate it with us. So
yeah, that'd be fun. Sure, absolutely.
That place will have you on your toes real.
There's a movie theater in Salem, in the East India Mall. It's one of the oldest movie theaters in the country, and I think it's Theater 4 or Theater 7. I can't remember which, but for the last 30, 40 years, this one gentleman who's wearing like a suit like you would in like the 20s and 30s sits in the same seat, and people see him all the time. He's like one of the most well-known, consistently seen apparitions. And you'll walk in with your popcorn and your drink, and you'll see sitting there. But then he disappears, or you catch him on the corner of your eye. But it's always the same theater number. He doesn't change theater numbers. It's wild. It's just, yeah. So.
Yeah, this place has got several different spirits in it. And
yeah, I wonder what he thinks of, modern movies.
You'll get grabbed in there.
Ugh.
My dad's been pushed in there.
Oh man.
I've actually had a member sit there and her face morphed to somebody else, and she's taking her thumb and sitting there digging her own face open.
Nope. That is where I leave. Yeah. Yep.
We didn't even know what was going on at that time until I reviewed the camera footage and saw this going.
Yeah, no, horror, it might be my number one favorite genre, but I am a scaredy cat at the end of the day. Yep. But yet here I am putting myself through all these situations where I have to like stay in these super haunted places to write books.
Right.
But it's kind of like someone who has a fear of heights who goes skydiving, right? I think I do it because I want to keep proving to myself that like it's okay. I'm trying to like work through that fear.
Right. And she's got an Airbnb up there. That's where we stay anytime we investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Which I've actually slept in Cinema 2, which is the most active of the theater.
Like you fell? Like you slipped?
No, I slept in
Oh,
one
you
of the.
slept. I just said you slipped. Like, you know, you like fell. Oh, you slept. Ugh.
I slept in there and woke up to my meter going crazy right next to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's balconies that have been untouched since the 1920s.
Yeah. It's got some, it must be carrying some sort of energy.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of energy in that town. That whole town is Civil War and a lot of murders, and the one girl that haunts the place, she was kidnapped and went missing for 17 years. And she was waiting for her date. Well, she never made her date. And she does not like the living. She will throw.
I don't like most living either, so I guess that we have that in common.
She'll throw temper tantrums and bang on stuff. She'll throw stuff, and
scary.
They told me a story. They were in there cleaning one morning, and they hear the seats going like this, up and down, and they can hear a whole conversation going on.
Right.
Their exterminator, he won't stay in there.
Yeah.
He gets in there, gets his stuff done, and out.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons why I accepted staying at the Ditto House to write that book was because it sounded so absolutely terrifying, you know, and I just was like, I need to prove that I can do this. Right. And I had every intention of leaving if something really freaked me out. Seeing that full body apparition in the ladies' room, where, like I said, like I screamed, she screamed, we both ran in separate directions. Like that night was really bad. Like, and then the night that I finally heard the giggling children that Ernie and Denise talk about all the time, when I finally heard the giggling children, because that was my biggest fear going to that house. I was terrified of those stupid giggling children. And then when I heard it outside the door in the nursery hallway, I like seriously was like, I might leave. I might just not finish this book, and that would be fine.
Right.
So anyway, but
their house sounds like my cousin's house. My cousin's house is active because the property is the Mormon massacre war of the Battle of Crooked River, where several Mormons got slaughtered and a general got killed, and their house is just like a revolving door for spirit activity. I'm constantly having to go over there and do cleansings, and in fact, tomorrow night, that's where I'm going to be, is at their house investigating. Because we spent the night there last weekend, and we were staying upstairs in the one bedroom, and something was bothering my father in the middle of the night. He woke me up, and it didn't bother me. I could sleep right through it. It don't bother me. It was aggravating. It ripped the blankets off of them.
Yeah,
it was crawling across the ceiling.
Yeah, kind of like the creeper at MSP.
Yep. Wait till you see the creeper Waverly Hills.
Nope. I've heard of the creeper. No, just stop. Just stop. Just.
It's not too bad. The creeper's more afraid of you than you are of him. You start walking towards him, he'll go down over the wall and down into the other floor.
Yeah, I think I saw the creeper. I know for a fact twice at MSP while I was there writing, because there's 2 diary entries about me seeing it. There may have been a third time, but I know absolutely for certain I saw it twice, and it's startling. I mean, there's what the hell is that, and why is it moving like that? And then you go, and then me, oh God, no, and then I'm like running for the office, you know. So.
I know Jenny saw it shortly after we all left.
Oh, that night?
She was walking through, and she seen the creeper, and she had a water bottle. She jumped and threw her water bottle, and she messaged me about it. And that was in Death Row.
Yeah, well, that's where he's seen the most.
Yep.
Yeah. That's why in my book, in These Walls Still Talk, he he spends most of his time in my novel in death row, because that's where most sightings come from. So, but
Yeah, Granzer, I like the creeper. Especially the one at Waverly. He's pretty interesting.
God damn it. Just, God. I constantly rethink my life.
And
So-
sometimes Waverly can be quiet. I mean, the team we went with, they rented it for 2 nights. That Friday night, they didn't experience anything.
Mhm.
Saturday, we come out, and it's like everybody wants to play all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, that's MSP. I mean, MSP is a roll the dice.
And we were getting activity during the day. We went on tour with Vince, and we're walking the outside of the front of Waverly, and you look up in the window, and there's somebody staring out the window at you.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And then the side exit door on the ground floor, we were walking along there, and somebody was peeking through the window, and we thought maybe it was one of the other team members, and I peeked in there, and there was nobody.
Yeah.
Fourth floor, walking the hallway, somebody's peeking around at us in the hallway.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. It's gonna be great.
I'll give you a little warning. The man down on the first floor, he's not very friendly.
All right.
He will cuss at you.
Okay.
So if you try to communicate with him, he will cuss at you.
I will remember that. I'll be too busy screaming and running the other way. It's fine.
You need to do the Waverly Hills challenge.
Which is
slide in the morgue slab for 5 minutes.
Yeah. How about no?
It's not too bad. There's no door on it, so you're not.
That sounds even worse.
Most people went in feet first. I went in head first, so to resemble like a body getting slid in.
Mm-hmm.
And I laid in there for about 2 hours. I almost fell asleep in there.
Yeah, that's because, you're not like me.
But that's what we do. We go into all these haunted locations. So
yeah, I just go in and find a safe place and write, or at least the safest place where I have the most view of the property.
502, we didn't experience nothing up there.
Yeah, and that's Ernie and Denise's. That's their mecca. Their ground zero.
So, I remember Ernie's got the tattoo, the 502 tattoo.
Yeah, so because 502 means so much to Ernie and Denise, I use 502 in the Ditto House book a few times as an Easter egg. I threw it in for them. So,
right. And anyway. I know they were a big part of Waverly, Ernie and Denise.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to Ernie about it quite a bit.
Yep. Yeah, everything I know about that place comes from the stories that they told me while I was, staying with them. So, yep.
Wait till you see the axe holes in the door.
Yeah.
That's when it sat abandoned. A bunch of kids broke in there and they tried to get that metal door open and it wouldn't open.
Mm-hmm.
And they got trapped in there. They ended up having to call the cops on themselves.
Oh man, to get out.
To get out of there.
I think I heard that story actually. Now that sounds familiar. Yeah.
And they were taking that axe and they were putting it through that metal door. You can actually see where the axe actually penetrated the door.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I'll ease your mind a little bit about the creeper. The theory is on him, there was a man in there that was in a wheelchair. And he would go down to maintenance, get his wheelchair oiled. And one day he went down there and there was nobody there. And he ended up going off the loading dock and face planted into the pavement. So they think he might be the creeper spirit that they see because he was paralyzed. So the only thing he could do was crawl.
Interesting. That makes it even scarier.
So.
All right.
Granzer. No, I'm not trying to scare him. I'm just trying to give him some pointers.
Yeah. We'll see. All right. Well, I think we should. I think that is a good. I think that story is a good way to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So. Oh my goodness. Oh God.
All right, I thank you for coming on the show tonight. Definitely,
Yeah,
if you
thanks for
want to
having
do
me.
it, if you want to come on again, definitely we'll do it
Yeah,
again.
yeah, yeah. Maybe after the books are actually out, and maybe after the book release party, I can come on and we can tell you anything weird that happened, or I can talk about Waverly. I'll come on and tell you about how my first Waverly
Yeah,
experience went.
yeah, we'll do that definitely.
All right, I love it.
Yeah,
So
and stay in touch, and
absolutely,
maybe I
yeah,
can be.
and maybe I'll see you at MSP again. So
Oh yeah, definitely. And maybe I'll get you into a haunted location you can write about
okay,
out here
yeah,
in Missouri. We've got
doing the
more out here.
Ditto House book. I realized that I absolutely need 2 weeks. I need to be able to stay at a place for 2 weeks. Anything less than that, I don't think I would be doing
Right,
it justice. So I need to find any place where if I'm going to do another book in the series, wherever I go, they have to be okay with letting me stay there for 2 weeks. I just can't do less than that. I can't. So
right.
that's the difficult part, is finding places that will be like, okay, here's the keys for 2 weeks, so, um, but that's
Yeah, I'll talk to my friend Kim, the owner of the movie theater, and she's got that Airbnb up there. So
yeah. Well, like when I was at MSP, I had to leave when they left, in the morning. So
right.
I had a hotel like 4 miles up the road. So I would go crash at the hotel and then wake up and shower and then go back to MSP and do it all over again. But I did have to leave when they left. So that's cool. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna wrap the show up,
Sounds
and
good.
thank you for coming on tonight. And
Thank you for having me.
I'm gonna
And
put
we'll
you.
talk soon.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna put you backstage and close the
Okay.
show out.
All
And
right. And remember, my website is just myname.com. All my books are available there, myname.com, and tickets to the book release party. Just myname.com.
all right, so I'll see you in a minute.
Awesome.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. There will be a Sunday show this Sunday. My dad and I will be on, and we'll have two special guests on: psychic medium Rebecca and Carol Garcia. Also, definitely check out Brian's books, his website. Come see him at MSP. Great dude. I enjoyed investigating with him when we were at MSP. So definitely come out, show him some support, buy his books. With that being said, remember, if you're being bullied in the paranormal field, you do have a voice. Nobody's better than anybody in this field. With that being said, everybody have a good night. Stay safe out there. And we will see you again Sunday night, probably about 8:30-ish Central Time. So with that being said, have a good night. God bless. Stay safe if you're investigating this weekend, and have fun. Have a good night, everyone. See you Sunday.